Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, and welcome to Tuesday Talk with Dave. We're just decided we come in for a little bit. No Rob today, morning off for him. We're just up and about and let him recover from his trip. We're going to come in for a little bit before we venture on to work ourselves. And then tonight we've got a very important interview we're working on. We'll have more about that late this evening. And hoping all that comes off without a hitch. You never know with interviews. Sometimes there's technical things that goes on, sometimes logistics, whatever it is, somebody not able to make it at the time they say. But I feel like this one is a go and is good, and we'll just have to wait and see. So looking forward to it, and we'll have a lot more to say about it. Obviously, well, the reason we're not trying to be coy was just a lot of moving parts as we think about in respect to certain things we've been given privy to because of the interview, and we're just so very thankful, and those who helped us get the interview. And so we'll have a lot more to say about that. The reason we're bringing it up, it is a serious issue, it has a lot to do with a serious issue that affects a lot of people, and I think it'll be a blessing to you in many ways. So happy Tuesday, as we say. And, get through this week, and it's going to be hotter in our part of the region than it has been. It was not too bad last week. This week is heating up, and it's heating up fast. So we're happy to be here. I didn't get to watch the game last night, but the Braves really got on the Twins early, and they first couple of innings a couple of the early innings, and ended up holding on. It was like 10-2 at one point. They ended up winning 10-6. Unfortunately, the Phillies did pull it out. They had a walk-off home run by their star, one of the stars, but certainly the star. And so they win 3-2 over the Astros. And so, we're not catching up on them, but we are keeping advantage on the Mets, which is important for the wild card. But yeah, Harper crushed one. And so that's number 31 for him. And they ended up winning the game. So I think the Mets were off. If I look, I think they were off. And so when we look at baseball here, make sure, I think I was right on. It was a light schedule last night. And when we look at those things, if we look at the standings, the Braves are still 6 behind the Phillies, and the Phillies have won 3 in a row. The Braves have won 1. They're 1 off the last on the last 10 games. The Braves are actually 1 better than the Phillies, so they've closed up a game. But it's why it's so hard this time of the season. But because of the Braves already having a 2.5 game lead, the Mets not playing and them winning, they have a full 3 game lead now on the Mets. Yay! Oh, they had passed us at one point. The Braves had really struggled. So the Braves are sitting at 71-60, 6 games back. The Mets 68-63. So, games continue. Of course, there's a lot of other teams. The Brewers are leading their division comfortably over the Cubs by a cool 10 games. And the Dodgers, for all their stars and how hard they have played, the Diamondbacks have made a heck of a push. Actually, the last 10, they're equal in record, but they're only 3 games behind. So that's pretty impressive right there. The Padres are only 4 games behind. So that's a pretty good race. The Dodgers is, and that's what I mean, as good as the Phillies have just been all world as well. But in that division, they've got 1 better record than them, but their teams are a little closer. Looking over into the American League, the Astros are 3.5 up over the Mariners. There's nobody else in sight, really. The Guardians, I can't stand saying that, but anyway, the Guardians, again, just a game over the Royals and only 2.5 over the Twins. So we put a hurting on the Twins last night in there, wanting to obviously stay caught up in that race. That's 2 losses in a row for the Twins. The Royals have won 2, and the Guardians have lost 2, so that race is tightening up. And the Yankees are winning their division by 2 over the Orioles, and then there's nobody else in sight. So we're fixing to enter into September. You get ready for the October time of the season. Going to be tightening up there, and then we'll get into the playoffs. So Braves with all their injuries, I just don't know if they can, what they can do, but we'll see. You just never know once you get in the playoffs. So got to hold on to wild card spots. So as you look at that, it's important. Every game becomes critically important. And so if you look into the American League and you look for the league as a league, the Yankees and the Guardians and the Astros are leading. So they obviously are in right now because they lead their division. And the Orioles are plus 3.5, and the Royals are plus 1.5, and the Twins even. So everybody else is behind that, trying to get into the playoff race. So that may be, who knows, that may be set. There's 5 games there, but the Twins are, we put a hurting on them. And you go over to the National League, the Dodgers, Phillies, Brewers leading, Diamondbacks plus 4, Padres plus 3, Braves are right there. So, and then the Mets would be the next one out, 3 back. Cubs 5.5, Giants 5.5. Cardinals 6 is really nobody else close. So there you go. So anyway, for all you Braves fans, some may not be, the heartbreak of following the Atlanta Braves. We've won it, but it's tough to be an Atlanta fan, whether it's Braves, Falcons, the Hawks. They've not even been in the races too much lately, last few years, maybe a little bit. So hot weather, there's your sports. We've got obviously a full slate of college football coming up this weekend. Dogs play at 12 in Atlanta against Clemson. Excited about kicking that off. There were a few games on Saturday. Of course, the biggest game was the meltdown of Florida State against Georgia Tech. Not a Tech fan at all, but shout out to them for taking down Florida State in that ACC matchup. I don't think Georgia Tech will be the winner of the ACC, but they have put themselves in a position to cause some damage. And it's a long season, so we'll see what happens. But it's a way to start the season in grand fashion with a kicker from Ireland, playing in Ireland, and then win the game in the last minute. So what a game. I watched a lot of it. I didn't get to see all of it, but I did watch a lot of it. I do not like that the Dogs are kicking off at 12, but as a fan watching, it's not so bad. I always hated those when you were going to the game. That's 12 o'clock game, especially if you're traveling in 3 hours away. I mean, your day has to start way earlier than if you were, say, if it was even like an early afternoon game, 3:30. That was probably the best time. The 7 o'clock games at night, that was a late getting home. That's 2 o'clock in the morning or later. By the time, according to how the game goes and traffic, but probably the afternoon game because you're playing kind of into the evening. Getting done about 7-ish, 7:30-ish. And heading home, it's not so bad. You're still getting home by 11:30, and getting up and going to church. That's what you're supposed to do. But those were hard. I hadn't done that in a few years. So as a fan, catching it wherever, not too bad, but I don't know. I just never did like those 12 o'clock kickoffs. I just don't care for those. I don't know. It just seems like the energy is not there as much as it is for the second half maybe of the game. But the first half, it just seems like players are even a little lethargic sometimes coming out for a 12 o'clock. Well, we're about 70 days until the election, I think, today. I think that's about right at it, 70 days. And on our new program, Sunday night, the Sunday News Desk at 9 p.m., we'll be discussing election things, registration, how things are going. We're going to look at, this week, we're going to look at the electoral map as some would believe it looks going in, and most likely does. But we'll look at that. We'll also look at, I don't like polls too much, but we're going to look at a poll about how people feel not about the candidates, but I do want to look at a poll about how people feel about elections. And I thought this was an interesting poll. We're going to look at that Sunday night as well, and then we'll discuss the news of the week as far as what has happened on the election trail, as they call it, and stumping for votes. And so we'll look at that Sunday night. But get registered to vote. If you're not already registered, please do that. It's still time. Time is running out, but you still have time. And I would say in every state, but I know in Georgia, you still have time. Get out and get registered. Get somebody else registered, and be persistent in that. If you can, help somebody get to the polls. Make it. I love it when I see a minivan pull up and there's 5-6 people fall out, kind of carpool to the precinct. That's cool, and you can tell they that's something they do probably every year. They enjoy it. Sometimes it's all one family, and they're all of age, and they might have might be bringing along a grandkid or something, or maybe it's their child is voting for the first time. Those are cool things, to vote and to bring other people to vote. Appreciate you folks from X being here this morning. If anybody else is, appreciate that. Come in and chat with us. But yeah, just Tuesday talk. Nothing pressing on the agenda today. We'll be back in the morning with the morning show with Rob. We'll be doing a shout out to some small community somewhere. I don't know which one Rob's going to do, but we like to do that, and we'll have some news and notes. And then tomorrow night is the hump day. Both shows really hump day. So we do have double shows on Wednesday and Friday, and kind of sort of on Monday because we do the Mama Said. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're doing some other things. We are recording usually. Sometimes not. Sometimes they're just off days, but we are doing the interview tonight. Can't wait for you to hear about that. Pretty amazing. We have not talked to this gentleman except by phone, and I have not talked to him at all. But his story is pretty incredible, and we're going to be talking about that hopefully this evening. I have a couple of, don't forget our Main Street USA programming. If you're in the area, stop in to the Decatur Diner, Decatur, Tennessee. We're kind of highlighting them for this week, a couple of weeks here, and really throughout the month. For about a month, we'll be highlighting them. We'll circle back to them as well. We have a couple of the businesses that we're trying to get something up for as well. One of them struggling, and we've reached out to them just to help, to get some attention there. And we're hopefully go over this week and film a little business. And that's what it's all about, supporting the mom and pops sort of kind of thing, small business, the hard workers, whether it's a restaurant, hardware, bookstore, whatever it is, help those small businesses, stay out there. We need them. They're really important for the community and the economy. The change, yes, they provide jobs and they're there and all that. Nothing against that, but it's these small ones that get swallowed up. And then when I traveled a lot, you'd go into these small communities. It was always sad because I love to go to the main street. When the blocks around there, they might not be directly right on the main street, or they may. And I can't tell you how many towns I rode through years ago, going to church and different thing. And you would go there and you see these buildings boarded up, small, but you might see one business or two businesses open, the rest are boarded up. And downtown looked like a ghost town, as they say, like an old Western movie set or something. The gold had dried up, the timber business, whatever, one of them old Westerns. And it was just, tumbleweeds coming across the street almost. Kind of felt like that. You're like, this is sad. You go out and up on the highway that's got more business, there would be stuff there. But when you get down, when you get into the main street, and the buildings would be boarded up and there would be nobody there. And that's really sad. Okay, my granddaughter's talking to me. I'll get with you in just a second. And so good morning to you. Good morning, granddaughter. But yeah, you go into these small towns and there's nobody there. And by the way, they have character, those old buildings and stuff. When you get into these little town squares and stuff, and you get in there, and there's the architecture. Some of the buildings are very old, and there is a move, I know there is in Georgia, to refurbish and to do things with Main Street. It's a program, and there's a number of cities that have taken advantage of that. And it's been going on for some time. And one of the things that they do is they come in and they bury the utilities. You know what I mean by that? You take down the power poles and you put everything underground, and you streetscape, and you really dress up the aesthetics of the main street there, at least in the town square. Some may, they have park benches. They've got the old lighting poles they put up. They may do cobblestone or something for the sidewalks, and sometimes even the car traffic. You'll see that, and try to bring people back into that and make it a walking area, walking shopping area. If you're blessed enough to have a passenger train that can stop in on a couple of days a week and bring tourists in, those are always some cities in Georgia have done that. That's always cool. Then all the people have to get off the train. I know we have towns near us that do that, and the people get off the train and they'll shop for an hour or two. Then the train, gets turned around and takes them on back into wherever, the big city or whatever. And that's cool. I've met people from there. I've witnessed to people from there, led people to Christ and that kind of thing. And they're from all over the world. And those are, great to revitalize an area. At least on a couple of days, you got extra shoppers in the city, and it's nice to see all the people out walking around and exploring your city. And so there has been a move. And so it's gotten better in a lot of areas. But I can't say that's like that everywhere. So, but support, as my point is, support small business. Go into, even if it's a little more, I'd rather give a little more to a small business than I would save at the chain. I get it. Sometimes money, the crunch the way it is, you're looking for the cheapest deal you can. I get it. And just by sheer volume, they can do that. But every time you do that, it crushes small business. They can't compete with that. They don't have the volume. They don't have the storage capacity, the shipping capacity, the power in that. And that's exactly, and I'm not against them, but you have to have a little bit of, feeling about it. I mean, they come into an area, they just crush all the small business and everybody ends up going to there. And that's a monopoly. And I'm not mentioning names, but I don't think it's too hard to figure it out. Save room, save some budget for small business, go to that little pizza place or go to that, place that has clothing or, thrift stores have become pretty big in a lot of areas like this too. And, I'm not talking about junk houses. I'm not against those. You can find some treasure, but some really nice, upscale kind of thrift stores and secondhand stores. And sometimes those have moved into areas like that. And, people looking for a bargain, there you go, and you're able to go in and get deals. I've done that. Love it. Me and the sisters, we went to Oklahoma City once. Oh my goodness. I didn't think we was going to have enough car space to bring back all the stuff we bought. We hit, I don't even think either one of them was watching. No, Heather's not. She's 3 hours behind us, but if Tammy's up, I think we hit 11 thrift stores in like one day. It's like every turn you went in the city, there was another thrift store. And we were there, oh my goodness, I think it was I don't remember if it was a Saturday or Monday or whatever day it was like double your pleasure day. Like, you got double for your buying power. So they were in heaven, so to speak. They were walking in there and coming out with, buying clothes for nieces, nephews, spouses, themselves, whoever else, my grandkids. They were finding all these deals, and that's fun. But that does keep you. Tammy she gave me a love some of that. So thank you, Tammy. I don't know if you heard that, but if you remember that. But we had all those thrift stores. But go into the small town community and walk in. I guarantee you, they will appreciate it. And the margin on any store is very small. I mean, it's not like you can mark up too much. So even on your big box stores, the margin is very small. They can get away with a little less because they do sheer volume, whereas the smaller mom and pops, as they call them, they have to mark up a little bit to make it, because they don't have anybody coming through the door. And if you listen to the interview with Angie, I think she said her meat and 3 was still like $7.79. Now, where are you getting that kind of deal nowadays? Not much. And so I respect her for that. She's trying her best to hold that line to that price as long as she can. So, and tip those workers, and it might be the owner, but give them a tip. Give them a nice tip. But yeah, you go into a place like that, and sometimes you are paying a little more. But that's okay. You get something the big place don't have. That's character. That's knowing you. And this one business that that we're reached out to help in North Georgia, in the town of Trenton. I'm trying to remember the name. Oh my goodness! Early in the morning, McBride's bookstore, I think. Hope I said that right. I'm trying to look for that real quick, but I really respect what they had to say. Is McBride's bookstore, and they've done advertising. They're trying, but one of the things that they do online sales, like you have to do that nowadays, but they're trying to reach out to their local community. They're doing all kinds of fill a bag sale. I see some of that. That was some of their latest advertising. But I do respect y'all. And if y'all hear this, I do respect this over at McBride's, and do reach out. I was hoping to hear from you yesterday, and I know y'all are busy, but we're hoping to help with the podcast. But one of the things they said is listen, we have to make this much per day to stay in business. And it wasn't that much. It really wasn't that much. I think it's like $205 a day that they have to make. They have to be able to make to stay in business. And I respect that. Not getting rich, just trying to stay in business. And so a lot of people I know didn't know about the store. I didn't know about it because I don't get over there that much, and I need to get over there more, to be honest. It's a nice little town. And I'm big on visiting those. And so it's in the region. It's not that far away from me. And pardon me. I shot and give them some business. Like, I don't probably need any more books, but I'll buy them. Maybe I'll do a trade, get rid of some and get some, to read. But there's not, hey, I like technology and it's fun to read on your Kindle and all that stuff. And that's fine. There's nothing like holding a book in your hand. Matter of fact, right beside me, and I have tons of books that I'm reading on, and just by way of, get me some of my notes out of the way, and I was actually reading on a magazine I got in the mail yesterday. I like magazines. I like books. And whether you like her or not, this is a very interesting book. And this was Licensed to Kill by Sidney Powell. And we know what happened there in Georgia, and they come after her, and going back to the 2020 election. But this is about exposing corruption in the Department of Justice. It's a great book. You can see I'm making my way through there. And I should have already been further down the road in these books, but I get to reading so many different things. And then I have a book here that I really like that, my goodness, we would not want. And this is Dr. Peter Vincent Pry. This is a tremendous book called Catastrophe Now: America's Last Chance to Prevent an EMP Disaster. You hear about that? Well, this is not some conspiracy thing. This is just talking about what would happen, or how could our enemies do that would cripple America. And those are real possibilities. And then probably I have here always a ministry book, and this is a nice devotion. You'll like this one. If I can get it up here, I've got so many news and notes and different things that are here. Hold on just a second. I've got some missionary letters, and this is, I got this in, and I like this because you have a guide to healthy conflict resolution. We never have that, right? We never have conflict resolution needed. And this one I love is called Surviving People. Oh my goodness, this is Carrie Pickett. Let me give her credit, and one of the ministry partners that we've worked with, and I like some of their stuff. And so yeah, you can tell I like books, and I'm about halfway, I think, through that book. So I'm about right there, and I need to finish it up because I need to survive people. Conflict resolution is a big part of our lives, right? Trying to survive people. Oh, so that's just some of them. There's others, but that's the ones that I'm really wanting to focus on now and get finished. I've got some magazine articles. And well, by the way, if you don't have, these are great to get this out. You get these free. If you're not a supporter of Hillsdale College, I'm not doing an infomercial, but while I'm saying, Hillsdale College, they do it all on their own. They don't have any government support, so they stay true to the Constitution. and they're, to biblical principles and all those things. And but they do it's a publication of Imprimis. This is free, and they just do this through support, and they send these out to several million a week. But the Imprimis that will come to you, and it is, you can see, from Hillsdale College, and they will take a speech that someone did, and they will send these out. You can also, I think, get these in email, and just keep it in there. I'll get it in just a minute. Just keep it warm. Thank you. My granddaughter just being a blessed this morning, bringing me eggs. Wow, I'm just so blessed. I can't eat them. I don't want to eat in front of you, but I still keep them warm. But this one is National Conservatism, Freedom, Conservatism, and Americanism by John Fonte. I don't know how he says his name, from the Hudson Institute. They'll send this to you free. Now, nothing's free, so they're looking for support and donations, and I've sent donations. Probably need to send some more. But wonderful group, and they'll send these to you for free, and so support their work, because this is not controlled news. This is not blackmail news or whatever, we own you kind of news. This is news that where people, I mean, they're telling it like it is, and they let the chips fall where they may, and I like that. So that's some of the reading material I have. So when I talk about books and reading material, I have a lot around. So if I looked in my bag, I probably got something else there. Well, matter of fact, and I've read this several times, but for you history folks, I got to share this one, and then we'll do a quick commercial. I got to share this one with you. Oh my goodness, what do I do with it? And I get questions all the time about history and stuff. And this is an old one, and let me kind of make sure this other bookstore is not listed here. So I hate it when they put their price tag on the front. This is an old book. I probably got this for a few cents, $1. And this is an older edition. But if you're looking for a book this was written after the war between the states, and my history friends will know this. This is a great book, and you'll read it several times too. And you can tell this book it's been around a bit. It's the paperback. There is a newer version his daughter put out with all of his notes and everything. But if you're looking for a good memoir of the war from the southern side, is, yes, The Great Company H from Sam Watkins. And of course, the title is, he was in Company H from his unit in Tennessee, but that's the way we talk down here, H. This is a great book. And I put it in there because I'm going to start going through it again. You cannot. But I wanted to show this book, where I'm at right now. He came through this area, and he was in Chattanooga and the Missionary Ridge and all that stuff. But we get back in here just a little bit. Here's this chapter on Dalton, Georgia. And I'm just about 30 minutes outside of Dalton, but it gets closer. And there's Missionary Ridge. That's right there in Chattanooga. And let's see here. What else we got? There it is. I'm just up the road from the Chickamauga battlefield. His chapter on Chickamauga. So if you've been to the Chickamauga National Battlefield, that's cool. And that's a great book. There's a lot of them, but this is a great book. You can't put it down. He had a great flair for writing. And he tries to write just from the soldier's perspective. And there's funny stories in there as well as the sad. I mean, war is sad. All right, let's run a quick commercial if I can. And we'll be right back. We're not going to run many, but let me do a couple. And I'm going to highlight Angie's, my promo I did for her again. And then we'll do one or two more. We'll be back. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. As part of our Main Street program, we're highlighting businesses in small town America. This week, we're interviewing Angie from Angie's Decatur Diner. Tune in to hear her interview. Hey, here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we've got a new morning show. Well, it's actually the same show, but we added a day. We're now on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 6 a.m., and we go till about 7, maybe a little after if we're having a really good show, and we just want to keep it going for a few minutes. But It's usually about 6 to 7. We hope you join us. And as our tagline says, nobody really wants to get up, but since you're up, grab a cup of coffee and join us. Hopefully we can get you started on your day talking about a little bit of sports or news, have a little laughter. Everybody needs that in the morning, along with that caffeine. And hey, we're trying to get you awake. You might be trying to get us awake. So join the chat. Let us know what's going on. Sometimes our best programs are from the chats that people tell us some things that are going on or remind us of some things or correct us on some things. Hey, all the above. We hope you join us on the Southern Fried Podcast morning show, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Have a great day in Dixie, and God bless. Yes, that program will be back tomorrow with Rob, loud and proud, 6 a.m. Don't forget our morning devotion and our morning funny. All those drop, those other two, Monday through Friday. Matter of fact, we could probably get together tonight and record a few. I think we got our last one up today. We've been having some fun with Cook, and pray for him. He fell. He may be out of action for a few days, just recuperating. And Chris, who's got to have surgery, and he's been sick. I mean, sick. So his wife popped in last night, thanked everybody for the prayers. And that's what it's all about. We care about each other, right? And so pray for his wife and him. I've only known Chris a short time since we started, right before we started the podcast, and really got to know him right after we started it. And it's been great to get to know him. And we're hoping to, at some point, it's not worked out, to do some location work. He likes to help film that. And there's a couple of things I would like to go and do sort of I don't know if I'd call it a documentary, but a short story about. And there's a couple in the area, within the general area, that I want to go do that hasn't been talked about in a little while. And one is one's in Tennessee, one is in Georgia, but really close to North Carolina, if I remember right. So we're looking to do that, but got to get him healthy. Not just for that. Got to get him healthy because it's good to be healthy. But we had talked about that, and we're always planning and looking to do some stuff. And he's a real blessing. There has been times, I think, that me and him had talked more than him and Rob. Rob was busy with some other stuff, and we were talking on the other side of stuff about the podcast and some different things we were trying to do. So, and then sometimes they were working on the store a lot, mentioning that we got to do a promo for the store. We don't have that ready. I think I ordered a hat, which I should be in a few days, and we're going to show that. And then we're going to go back and order a coffee mug in the next few days. And we'll have that as props on the show. There are so many options. I mean, there's probably, I don't even know. It's probably 250, 300, because we talk about all the variations, different types of shirts, different types of hats, mugs. There's probably over 250 options, if I had to guess. And it may be more than that, but it took a while to put all that together. It's really easy to do. And right now, for a few days, there's a 25% discount. And there's another one that's going to be coming that's a 20%. And I can tell you that it saved me the shipping. So whatever the price was when the discount was applied, whatever that shipping was, it took that off pretty much. I mean, I'm not saying we'll do that depending on the size of order, but it's not, pretty much going to get it shipped for free because of those discounts. And we'll run those often. We can go in there and set those up. So this was an introductory offer of 25%, ran for 14 days, and there's still a few days left on that. I know you can go find that link on our links on Facebook, X. I'm not sure if it's on the YouTube. I was trying to put it in there. I was waiting on Chris because he set a lot of that up, and I didn't want to mess him up. And I wasn't quite sure how to put that in there. He'll do links. We did put it in our Cornbread Nation. So if you go to Cornbread Nation on Facebook and join there, you'll see the link in there. And let's build those numbers up. And it may be out there on a couple of the other streams. I was trying to put in as many as I could, but we're going to be getting a lot more attention on that. And again, it just helps the podcast. So I think off the hat, the podcast made $3. Of course, we'll have to pay tax out of that. So it's not a lot of money, but it does help because there are some costs to what we do, and we want to keep doing it. And we're going to keep doing it regardless of anything bought. But we really just want the merchandise to be out there so people will see it. Word of mouth is how we have grown as fast as we have through friends and acquaintances, and that's the best way. Sometimes it's been really slow. Sometimes a lot. I mean, it just seemed like it exploded, and we started with one or two, and next thing you know, I mean, we forever. I think we had 15 followers at one point, and we were stuck there. And then finally, it grew some, and that's the way you do. So we not flash and pan, growing the right way, getting people used to us being here and having something that they like. Some people wouldn't like anything we do, and that's fine. And some people like some stuff. I think people like to come in and feel like you're a part. I think of the old DJs. You get up and you listen to your radio station. You got used to those voices in the morning. You got used to them introducing the next song or whatever, and everything's so computerized and canned and everything else. It's you lose that. So with us, we're getting, we're silly and we're kind of crazy and goofy and everything else in between, serious when we need to be, and hopefully building a relationship with you out there wherever you're from. And it's conservative, it's Christian, and yeah, a little goofy. That's okay. We're a little goofy. That's fun. Don't grow old. Stay young at heart, and have fun, and never forget to laugh. Never forget to have the gift of song. It's just really important for your well-being to have those things. So here we're faith, and we're family, and we're friends, and we're about freedom. Everything we do, you'll see the American flag. We're American first. We're patriots, and we love America. So we check a lot of boxes of those things that we care about. We don't mince words. We're pro-life. We're pro Jesus. I mean, we're all those things, but we love everybody. So if you're not those things, still come, still listen, join in. If nothing else, look at the Morning Funnies. We've got a whole segment of folks that do that. Oh, and it's funny. You get people that get, sometimes people get a little too serious. There's a lot of satire that we do. And it's funny what gets attention sometimes. And we did the one, if you didn't see the funny we did about all the shrimp eating and cook. We had a comment coming on one of them. I don't remember which one it was. And somebody said, it's funny, I guess, in one way, but it's sad because we can't get all you can eat shrimp because of this kind of things. Because, we talked about he ate 209 or whatever it was. I'm like, come on, really? You can find how you can eat shrimp out there. And there's no shortage of shrimp they're making money still. Not everybody's eating 209. It's a funny story. And I thought, don't be so serious. It's fine. All comments are welcome. But I was like, there's a lot of satire here. There's a lot. Oh, we're just having fun. And it's funny what people kind of key on. But they didn't seem angry or they wasn't attacking. They were just like, we can't get the shrimp because y'all are eating them all. I'm like, come on. We probably don't even live in the same town or even the same state. So, sometimes we just got to step back and just learn to laugh at stuff. I love that movie. And I was going to say, my sister, if she's still in here, she's a bigger reader than I am, and I like to read, but she reads all the time. She's promoting books constantly. She is way deep into that, ain't you, Tammy? But I was thinking of that movie with Steve Martin, Parenthood or whatever it was, and they're pressured. They have a child that's needing some extra attention. She finds out they're going to have another baby, and he's not really excited about it because he feels like his career's in the tank, and he's trying to really focus on it. Anyway, if you've seen the movie, you know. But I love it at the end, and of course, Grandma's saying stuff, and he's wound tight. We could say he's just wound tight, and they go to the little school play. And one of their children, or two of them's in the school play, and the youngest one that they have thinks that someone's being mean to their sister or whatever, runs on stage and starts running through the set, and things are falling. And he feels like she was talking about being on the roller coaster, and it's fun. Anyway, he feels like he's on the roller coaster, and people are saying, "Your kid's running the play," and they're giving him a hard time and everything. And then some people are laughing, and he just at some point he just starts laughing. You have to. You know, they didn't want it to happen. It wasn't planned. It just happened. And you have to learn to laugh. And that's why we do the morning funnies is some days they may fall flat, but we do laugh. We laugh a lot when we're doing them. And it's good therapy for us to laugh. And hopefully there's something there that'll make you chuckle or laugh at us, if nothing else. And that's fun. And you know what? The world is so serious nowadays. Everybody's on edge, it seems like. Have laughter. We have a great need as human beings to laugh in a good way, not laugh at people, but laugh with people. I just think it's great therapy for the soul is to have laughter. Good, clean fun, you know. I'm not into filthy one-liners and all that. Never have been. I don't care for that. But it's nothing wrong with good, clean fun and laughter. And in fact, I highly recommend it. And I don't want to be that guy. We joke about getting older and you know, becoming an old curmudgeon. We kind of laugh about that. But I refuse to be that guy. I'm not getting old and being. We can get a little more serious minded as we get older. But I want to be the guy that's cutting up. I want to be the grandpa that's kind of goofy, serious, and telling them about life things. But you know, grandpa's got to be funny. He can't be Mr. Serious, you know, all the time. He's got to be goofy. And sometimes my grandkids just look at me and shake their head because they're like, "You're so funny," or "You're goofy," or whatever. I love it when I hear that because that means I'm doing my job. be the goofy grandma and grandpa and have fun. You know, parents have got to be serious, right? Who wants to be serious? I mean, you live that, right? You had fun with your kids, but you know, you're raising them. You're you know trying to guide them. You're having to get on to them. But grandparents, be fun. Show up and I mean, when they were little, I used to love to show up and give them ice cream or something right after they had a bath or something, you know. And you leave and you say, "Job well done. I've done my job here." And the parents just looking at you like, "Oh, I just gave them a bath," you know. You're like going out the door like, "Yes." Or you know, you take them for a fun time and they go back and they're bouncing off the walls. You're like, "Hey, we had a great time. Enjoy your evening." Oh, be that. Have fun with it. Again, and also be that where you can listen to them. You know, it's funny. They'll come to you and you know they don't want to tell you what their part in it is, but they'll say, "Don't say nothing," but I'm mad at my parent, you know, or whatever. It's both. It's not just one. I'm mad today, and I'm not happy, and you just listen to them. What's going on? And I said, "I'm gonna say nothing." You know, it's grandpa talk. This is papa talk or papa talk. And you listen to them, and they tell you whatever it is that's going on, and you try to first of all you try to get them kind of you know where they're not all mad and sad and everything else, and you get them to talk. And usually they'll tell you a little bit about what they did, and you can kind of have some wisdom there. And then you give them a big hug, and uh, you say it's going to be okay, it's going to get better. You know, my daddy would always say, and I know I've said it, don't let your face freeze like that because they'd be all, you know, mad. Don't let your face freeze like that. Um, you know, but they know they can come talk to me and, or their grandma. And, uh, you know, who does it like that? Some people didn't have their grandparents. They died before they were born or very little when they were there, whatever. And you miss that. You got to have that in your life. You got to have somebody you can go talk to and say, you know, you got to have a sounding board. Grandparents can be that, you know, grandparents can be fun. They don't have to follow all the same rules. What was that? I love movies. What was Bill Murray and Groundhog Day? I'm not following the rules any longer, you know, because he realized nothing, no matter what he did, he'd wake up the next day, same day. So he's driving his car off of cliffs and stuff. We're not going to do that, but you know what I mean? Don't live by those rules. Of parent rules changed unless you're raising one. And we do deal with that too. But even in that, somebody told me they were very sorry one time. I'm so sorry for you that you're having to raise your granddaughter. I said, "Well, don't. I'm not." They said, "Well, yeah, but you're not able to be, you're not able to be the grandpa in this. You're more like a parent." I said, "Well, there's a lot of truth in that." But I said, You don't know what you're talking about. If you think I'm not goofy with that one as well, we have a fun relationship. We have our battles. That's just part of disagreements, and they got a mind, but they also have the goofy times, and we just have great sessions of laughter. I've did something with my grandkids, and now they're older, and it's harder to pin them down, get them to a place where you can. But growing up, I would just look at them and start laughing. Again, you got to be the goofy one, right? And they're like, and they can't help but laugh, and they're like, "What are you laughing about?" You just have a belly laugh, and the next thing you know, they're laughing. And then another one will walk up and they say, "What's so funny?" And they just look at them and start laughing, and they before you know it, everybody's having a laugh, and then you say, "Ain't laugh great?" Oh, it's hard to be a teenager, right? So sometimes they don't work with teenagers. They just give you that look like, really? Seriously? I love all the words, right? Let's see how many words that we've got. Seriously and literally. Oh, there's many more, but you hear those a lot. It's like, it's literally. They give you that look only a teenager can give you, like, really? Literally? Seriously? Oh, fun. And then you can prompt, you can threaten them, right? So like mine, if I take them, I'm going to be dropping them off at school, or at least some of them, not all of them, but drop them off at school, and other kids as well. And if they're all in a bad mood, or I say, "Hey, listen, now we got to be in a good mood," or I'll pull up to school and I'll sing, and they're like, "No, no, no, don't do that." You can threaten them with "I'll go to school in my pajamas and get out and walk you to the door," kind of thing, and they're looking at you like, "No, you would destroy us. You can't do that." And I say, "Yeah, I can. I'm a grandpa. I can do it." "Don't do it." "Okay, then be happy." Snap out of it. We'll be good. We don't want that. They don't think you would do it, but they're not quite sure because, again, you're the goofy grandparent. It's like, he just might. We better not push it. Oh, hey, have fun on a Tuesday. We got just a few minutes here. Again, this is not a planned morning for us, but I like doing that. Rob will say, "You had a show?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm up." I got up, prayed up. I don't have any coffee this morning, so it's not a coffee up. I got the Diet Mountain Dew, so it's a Diet Mountain Dew morning, and some water, and fixing to throw the shoes on and go. Yeah, I'm coming too with no shoes on. It's comfortable. Oh, you ever see those TV shows, newscast, and the guy's in the suit and tie, and it pulls back to the side, and you see the guy's wearing his golf shorts or something, athletic shoes. The jacket was just for the newscast, but they can do that too, and they do it. So, and nowadays people are working from home, so they do that. A lot of people are working from home, so they look like they're professional or whatever, but really they're just half dressed. It's being comfortable. Got the comfy house shoes on. Maybe you got some of those house shoes that are animals or something. You never wear them out, or maybe you would. Some people would do that. I see them at the big box store all the time. Right? They're walking through. I mean, that's the thing now, to walk around in your pajamas and goofy house shoes. I mean, you're like, really? Just roll out of bed. Come on down. They literally look like they just rolled out of bed. Literally, see, there's that word. So they get me saying it literally. Us adults, we get caught up saying those things too. What's the other one? It is what it is. That's become another one. Oh, you hear it. I hear it at work all the time. They say, "Well, it is what it is." Really? I don't remember us saying that a few years ago, but it has become a catchphrase now. Is what it is. I wouldn't suggest telling your boss that. Like, well, I know we didn't get this done, but it is what it is. I wouldn't suggest saying that. But y'all have a great Tuesday. That's my message for today. Have laughter. Learn to laugh if you're not, and be that person. And my grandfather, on my dad's side, he really taught me that. And he died in 1970, and I don't mind saying, I was 5 years old. I'm going to tell you what, he impressed in me the gift of laughter. And he was a Baptist preacher, and he was a great moral man, but he never stopped being the kid. And we would have pillow fights and stuff. And he would always tell me, he'd say, now don't tell your grandma. She'll kill us both. Because grandma didn't like us, doing her pillows like that. We never sat in the living room. That was the guest room only. That was always kept perfect. Not that every place wasn't perfect, but that was lights out. Nobody went in there unless you had a special guest. But the den where the TV was, and by the way, my grandpa, he loved wrestling. Who can't love a grandpa that's up there? Get him, pin him. And I'm thinking to myself, Grandpa, this looks fake. But you never told him that. So he had his Sunday afternoon between church. He'd watch wrestling, and but he knew how to, and he did that. I think that's where I got it. He would look at you and just laugh. And see, my dad had a lot of those qualities, but my dad's serious with me because I was his son. So we didn't have that. We had the different kind. And my dad was full of laughter. He laughed a lot. He did. And I saw where he got it. But the relationship to my grandfather was very different because I was the grandson. And he just, he had wrestled with me, and he had health problems. Grandma would have skinned him if she'd have known that. But you know what? He died way too young. He really did. I say that, God had a time frame for him, but I'll see him again. But he never stopped having fun. And my grandma was fun too. She just fun a different way. But she was more serious than Grandpa. Grandpa was a little goofy. He was always quibbing and picking each. It's why, and my, my sons are like, it's just something about our family. We do that. We pick at each other, and we like to laugh and cut up and go on about stuff. And it's there. It's all there. From and I didn't know my great grandfather. I've heard stories about him, but you just one day I had to find out about these. Who was the grandpa that started all this? That passed it all down. The great. Somebody had to be that, and it just became a part of who we are. Don't ever lose that, folks. It's a serious world, right? Threats of EMP, elections, chaos, all those things you talk about. Don't lose your ability to laugh through it. It'll get you through the difficult days. Shout out to Chris, again, Cook, and others that are struggling with some things today. We're fixing to get off here, head on into our day, and we're not going to be live tonight, but we are going to do a recording. Although, who knows, I may come on. There's a couple of shows we need to kind of get in the can, so to speak. Either I'll record them and post them, or they'll be live. Who knows? I might just make them live. According to how the interview goes, we'll see. But we're going to get into our morning and head on and drop some kiddos off at school and get on to work and get into Tuesday at work. Some people call it Taco Tuesday. I don't know if you have tacos on Tuesday, but I think my granddaughter would like to have that. She likes tacos. But have you a Taco Tuesday, and that's why I call this the Tuesday Talk with Dave. Again, we'll be back on with our partner in the morning, Loud, and shout outs to some small community. It's Robert's Day, so I'm not sure who he's going to shout out to as far as the community out there. I've got a whole list of them, and I know he does as well. So maybe we'll shout out somewhere near where you're at. Stay cool today if you can. There are some weather alerts out there for some of the area. So we'll be seeing you soon. Have a great day, and God bless. There's my granddaughter bringing me eggs.